Get ready to pay for BTC's directory assistance starting July 1st. BTC will transform directory assistance, introducing new features available on 916 calls in what the company says is a long underused service. The new features include a free automatic call connect and more information. After the monthly allotment of 3 free calls per cell phone and 3 free calls per landline on BTC's network, a 35-cent charge will be levied. BTC's Brand and Communications Vice President Marlon Johnson said in a press release that BTC's research shows that the average customer makes 1.2 calls to directory assistance per month. Now, BTC is making clear that there will never be a charge for an emergency call to 911 or 919. Negotiations for a new contract for BTC employees appear to be slowed. This as executives of the Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union, which represents hundreds of line staff, say all the warning signs were there that Cable and Wireless, BTC's new owners, had a poor labor relations record. Yet they say the government did not take heed to protect the jobs of employees at BTC prior to the company's 51% sale on April 6th of 2011. Yesterday, BCPOU President Bernard Evans said the union wants much more than a 4% increase. During the last contract in 2009, Mr. Evans said employees got an 8% increase and a $5,000 lump sum payment. Now all that's being offered is a 4% increase and a 2% lump sum payment in the second and third years. Now they say the offer is unreasonable as BTC has realized much savings, much of it due to the 35% savings in base annual salaries after the voluntary separation of 400 BTC employees.
Savings realize from reduced medical coverage. Savings realize from renegotiated contracts with local and international vendors. Savings realize from reduced commission to phone card vendors and distributors through the launch of Easy Top-Up. The items mentioned above are a small part of many cost-cutting and efficiency-based initiatives that BTC has undertaken in the past year. It is only fair that the workers who have contributed to the improvements and are now responsible to maintain the new environment must receive equitable compensation.
Attempts were made to reach BTC's management and get a response, but up to news time, we were unsuccessful in doing so. One of the country's oldest and most vibrant Junkanoo groups is encouraging former and present members to join together in an effort to revive the group. The Music Makers are hosting their first annual Back to the Music Makers Weekend starting this Friday at 8 p.m. LaDawn Davis shares with us some of the history of the group and what to expect from their off-season gathering.
Since 1954, the Music Makers has made its presence felt on the Junkanoo scene as one of the greatest Junkanoo groups bringing sweet music to Bay Street. Founder and leader Winston Churchill Rowles says the Music Makers is a group with a rich history. Back in its heyday, he says it was the first to create the Goombay Summer Festival and native shows, taking the country's #1 cultural expression to a new level.
We got started more like little boys, around 9 or 10 or so. We're just playing around, marching. And we just sort of evolved into the Junkanoo because of John Shipman. We screw around his shack, etc. And we started with Bush, and then from Bush in the newspapers, and then in the newspaper, in the Craig paper, and everything. Then what we used to do, we would put our little pennies together. We'd go in the hotels and wait, do the Junkanoo shows. And we put our little pennies together, and then we would go once a year to Miami for the Orange Blossom Classics, Ministers would never sponsor us. We just used to go every year. And many times we was on the front page of the Miami Herald.
Under the leadership of the late Sammy Thompson, the Music Makers won 3 straight Junkanoo parades between 1976 and 1977. Since that time, winning hasn't come easy, as the group has made a 360-degree turn and have placed either 4th or 5th at both major parades. Also, throughout the years came challenges and changes. Some members branched off to other Junkanoo groups for various reasons. Public Relations Officer Alfonso Albury says he is hoping to reunite past with the present by hosting a Back to the Music Makers Weekend at the Joe Billy Park.
We intend to have more like a grill and chill where all past and present and future members can come and mingle and grill free of charge with drinks and eats and just talk about how we can better the music makers, how we can put the music makers back on the map to the prominent days that we once held. After we were through on Friday with the mingling and tingling with one another, we hope that on Saturday we'll have a motorcade, a massive motorcade.
After socializing, the group will also unite in a religious setting at the International Deliverance and Praying Ministries with Bishop Lawrence Roll. LaDon Davis, ZNS News.